What's up, guys? Jake here with JakesGotHerps, not to be confused with herpes because herpes is nasty. In this video, I'm showing you guys my Dubia Roach colony, and I'm going to talk to you guys why I choose to keep and breed Dubia Roaches. I know it's not the most exciting topic in the world, but, bear with me, and you might learn something, and you might choose to, keep and breed these guys yourself. So I'll just run through I guess I call it a tank setup. I don't really know what you call it if it's a feeder insect, but I keep my roaches in a 55-quart tub. You can keep yours in anything bigger or smaller depending on how many roaches you have. I just chose this because I had it. And I'm using a plastic container because, honestly, it's a feeder insect. It'd be kind of a waste of an aquarium if you ask me. And because these guys need some heat and humidity because they are a tropical roach, so plastic keeps that in a lot better than a glass aquarium. At the top here we have a 75-watt heat bulb, which serves for the heat, obviously, and I guess they can't see infrared. I don't really know how you tell what they can see and what they can't. I don't know who figured that out, but you don't need a nighttime bulb like a black light or a ceramic heat emitter to keep these guys warm. You can keep this on all day. At the top here, I cut a hole and I put a little bit of screening, and I use this little 5.5-gallon lid just because this stuff's not metal. As you can see, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like foamy, and the heat melts right through it. And as you can see, the setup's pretty typical of anybody who keeps Dubia roaches. I use egg flats. A lot of people use these. You can also use paper towel rolls or toilet paper rolls, whatever works for you. In the corner here, I have a little bowl that I cut out, and I put some food in. I use the Fluker's high calcium cricket diet. I use this. It's probably not the best just because it's kind of expensive, but I use it because it's a good, gut load for your crickets, and I figure if you're gonna feed these off to your reptiles, then anything you can put in your crickets you should be able to put in your roaches. That makes sense to me. A lot of people use dog food, which I think has more protein so they breed faster, but I don't really want dog food in my reptile stomachs. That just doesn't make sense to me. And right here we have the water crystals. It's the same thing. It's like Fluker's water crystals. It's kind of expensive stuff too. It's just water crystals with dye. In hindsight, I probably should have just gotten regular water crystals, but I wasn't really feeling like it, so yeah. And in here we have the roaches. You can see I have some nymphs, which I usually feed off pretty quick. I know my colony's not huge. I actually started with like maybe one male and like 6 females and a bunch of nymphs, so you can see I've been producing pretty good, and this is only after maybe like 2 months, so as you can see, it's really, really easy to maintain and breed and stuff, as long as you keep it clean and add the food and water. I tried breeding crickets once, but I don't really like crickets at all. Not for feeder insects and not really for breeding either. They make a lot of noise. They smell really bad, and it's honestly a lot harder because they lay eggs. So you have to you don't have to incubate the eggs, but you have to keep them warm and put them in a separate container. These have live young, which is pretty nice, and the babies actually eat a lot of the poop out, so that's pretty cool too, I think. And they're a lot better feeder insects because they're just better nutritionally than, I'd say, than mealworms or crickets. Crickets don't really have that many nutrients, and mealworms are alright, but they have a lot of shell to protein ratio, which means that they just have a really thick exoskeleton, and these guys don't really. They're pretty soft, and they have a lot of protein compared to other feeder insects, which is why a lot of people choose to use these, and I do as well. I haven't really gone to the pet store and bought crickets in a couple weeks now because I don't really have to, and it's really nice, and it's super easy. Take my word for it. It's really easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not the best at dealing with bugs and stuff. I don't really like bugs, and these guys don't smell too bad. Honestly, the worst smell is when the poop builds up and then you mist it down, which I forgot to mention. You have to spray it down a little bit because they are a tropical roach. They need some humidity to breed successfully and to molt their exoskeletons. And the worst smell, I think, is probably this diet. It just doesn't really smell pleasant. It kind of smells like crickets, if you ask me. And when you get that wet combined with wet poop, it kind of smells. But other than that, if you keep it clean, it's not too bad. And so yeah, I know it's not the most exciting video, but hopefully you learned something. Maybe you want to start your own little colony, because it is quite helpful when you don't feel like going to the pet store and getting crickets. And it's probably a lot better for your reptiles as well. I know most of these guys like to eat them. The firebelly toads, not big takers, but they eat them once in a while. And wow, that tank's green. I need to clean that off. UV lights make your tank super green super fast. This little guy in here, might as well show you all my vivs in here while I'm at it. This little gray tree frog is pretty sweet, and he devours these things. I fed him a ton today. In hindsight, I probably should have waited and fed him so you guys can see him right now, but you can see his viv. It's pretty sweet. And the crested gecko eats him occasionally. I'm still having a little bit of trouble feeding him. I offer him tons of different fruits and stuff, but as you can see, but yeah, so that's basically this video, just showing you guys the roaches, you know, the pros and cons of them, I guess. I don't really see any cons, but and also I want to know a couple things. First of all, my next video is going to be a handling video of my new carpet python, who is absolutely fantastic. I'm just in love with carpet pythons right now. I'm pretty much addicted to them now. But I also want to know what other animals of mine you want me to handle in this next video. I'll probably handle that one for sure, and then maybe Tebow, and anything else you guys want to see that you haven't seen in a while you want me to hold and talk about in front of you guys, that would be alright, and put that in the comments. And also, I have a couple reptile shows this month. In 2 weeks, I've got the National Reptile Expo in Tinley Park, and the day after that, I have the Grand Rapids. And I want to know what you guys think I should get next, what I should add to my collection, if you will. I don't like to call it a collection because that makes me sound like a hoarder, but I want to know what you guys think I should get. What do you guys think I would enjoy? Because right now I'm on a carpet python kick, but I'm also open to pretty much anything, really. So, yeah, it's been Jake, and I will see you guys later. Peace.